Stand by.
What is up, YouTube? This is Nanashi with yet another deck profile video. This time I'll be going back and showing you the updates to my Digital Bug Light deck. The deck hasn't seen a tremendous number of changes, but with the introduction of two majorly needed new support cards, the power of this deck has gone up significantly, and I love it far more than I thought I would with these new support cards. So let's see where this goes. Starting off, we'll go into the minimal monster lineup, starting with the triple Bachi Bachi Bachi. It really doesn't do anything special, but any Xyz monster that uses it as material for its summon gains the ability to do piercing battle damage, and considering that this deck does a lot of defense manipulation, that's actually very valuable for this archetype itself. Then we move to the Digital Bug Cenobit, and all the Digital Bugs have a common trend in their effects. They cannot be used as Xyz summons, except for the Xyz summon of an insect-type monster. Now, each of them has their own unique trending effects, and each one comes with two. One is their natural effect, and the other is their gifted effect. Its natural effect is that if it's changed from attack to defense position, you get to special summon any level 3 insect from your deck. And if it's used as an Xyz material for an Xyz summon, then it gives the effect of being able to attack all defense position monsters the opponent controls once each. Cocoon Dancer's unique effect is that if it's in attack mode, you can change it from attack to defense position, targeting a level 3 insect in your grave and special summoning it in defense position. And its gifted effect is that if the Xyz monster that used it for a summon attacks a defense position monster, they can't activate anything until the end of the attack. LED Bug is the latest addition to the arsenal of the Digital Bug army. Its natural effect is that if it's switched from attack to defense, you can add a level 3 insect from your deck to your hand. And its gifted effect is just as powerful. If the Xyz monster that used it as material to summon it destroys a monster by battle, you get to draw a card. And bear in mind that this is not a once per turn effect. And Digital Bug Web Solder. Its natural effect is that you can change one attack position monster you control to defense mode, and special summon a level 3 insect from your hand. Its gifted effect is that when the Xyz monster is summoned, then all the opponent's monsters go to defense mode and their defense becomes 0. Next we move into the minimal spell lineup, starting off with the Double Dark Hole. Inferno Reckless Summon. I adore this card in this deck because it is very easy to abuse. If you special summon a single monster with 1500 or less attack, you get to target that monster and special summon 2 more copies of it from your hand, deck, or graveyard. And your opponent gets to pick one monster they control and do the same. Double MST, because after playtesting Twin Twisters in this deck, MST is just better. It's simply because I don't have enough cards to discard for its cost to play Twin Twisters, and MST is just easier to play. Still running Tripled Stumbling though. I love this card. Any monster summoned goes from attack to defense mode. That has a lot of play with a couple of the digital bugs, specifically Cenobit and the new LED bug. Next we move into the highly populated Trap lineup of the deck. Starting off with the Triple Bug Emergency. I target 2 level 3 insects in the grave, special summon them, but their effects are negated. In addition, if this trap card is in the graveyard, then you have the ability to banish it as well as an Xyz monster, and all level 3 insect monsters you currently control have their levels become equal to the rank of that Xyz monster that you just banished. You can only activate one of this trap per turn, but you do have the ability to banish it multiple times from what I can tell, not that it matters. Because of the fact that the monster count in this main deck is very low, honestly I'm starting to consider putting it down to 2, and I already know what I want to put up, if I do. Still running Triple Call of the Haunted for obvious reasons. You bring back a monster from your graveyard, mainly just to use in tandem with Inferno Reckless Summon. Double Floodgate Trap Hole, still working on getting my second copy, but I love the fact that I can run 2. If your opponent summons a monster or monsters, you change them all to face down defense and their battle modes cannot be changed. Double Jar of Avarice still, because being able to return any 5 cards from the graveyard back to the deck, especially those extra deck monsters, and getting a draw off of it, makes this deck a lot more sustainable and powerful. Solemn Warning, still running it as a staple in all of my decks. Transmigration Prophecy at 1. I'm actually considering putting this card to 2, because being able to return any 2 cards in the graveyard back to the deck is immensely powerful, especially if you return the jars. And Zero Gravity. Changing all the battle positions of face-up monsters on the field is extremely powerful, and given that this card has a free activation you don't have to dedicate it to a specific circumstance that occurs, like your opponent attacking, I automatically consider this card more viable in this deck than cards like Quaking Mirror Force. Next, we move into the side deck, which is about the same as before, as well as a couple of new techs. Still controlling the triple electromagnetic bagworm in the extra deck, purely because in the event that I do need more monsters in the deck until we can get our hands on the freaking galaxy worm, this card's going to have to make do. The brain control is still fun to use though. Being able to take control of a monster that can be normal summoned or set means you automatically have a way to take control of an opponent's monsters in that new True King, True Draco deck, I believe it is. And I checked, it does look like it works. Triple Bug Signal. I love this card, but not enough to dedicate it to the main deck. Quick play spell, you target an insect Xyz monster you control, and you special summon an Xyz monster who's 2 ranks higher or 2 ranks lower, but it also has to be an insect. I'm still going to keep it at the side because being able to freely do that is still very harmful to my opponent during their turn, but for me, not very good in the main deck during my turn. Third MST, Compulsory, Double Fiendish Chain, Double Memory Loss, Mirror Force, and Torrential. And now we finish up with the extra deck, which has a few new cards. Well, at least it will once I get them. I'm planning on running 2 number 0 Utopic Future. Its rank is treated as 1, but you summon it by using 2 non-number Xyz monsters with the same rank. And I definitely have plenty to go with. The card can't be destroyed by battle, neither player takes battle damage from attacks involving it, and if it battled an opponent's monster, you gain control of it until the end of the battle phase. And if it would be destroyed by card effect, you can attach a material instead. So it's fairly well able to protect itself. But the main reason I run this is because with Link format coming out, being able to manipulate their monsters on their side of the field will mainly mean that I can take a good hard chunk out of their field manipulation using their own Link monsters. I'm also going to run a number 100 Numeron Dragon, thanks to the suggestion of a friend of mine named Robert. It requires 2 number Xyz monsters with the same name and rank, and I only run 1, but there's 3 copies of it, so it's not going to be impossible to pull out. Once a turn, I can detach a material, and it gains 1,000 attack per rank of all Xyz monsters on the field. So, if my opponent had a rank 8 and I had this, that's 9,000 attack points. And that attack boost lasts until the end of my opponent's turn. If this card is destroyed by card effect, I can wipe out all monsters on the field, as many as possible rather, at minimum 1, and then each player sets a spell trap from their graveyard. So obviously this is going to help my opponent more than me, but the third effect is kind of the reason I'm wanting to run this. If my opponent declares a direct attack while I have no cards in my hand or on my field, which has happened multiple times, I can special summon this monster from the graveyard, and from what I've seen, this thing being able to revive itself more than once per turn, as long as its summon was not negated, means that I will never die from an empty field direct attack. Digital Bug Sciradiator at 3 has been proving far more useful than I thought it was originally, because I didn't know that if you used every single Xyz material that this deck has to offer, that it would be so immensely powerful. It requires 2 or more level 3 light insect monsters to summon it, and once per turn, during either player's turn, you can attach 2 materials from it to, well, basically memory loss an opponent's monster, except it targets. It changes their battle position and negates their effects until the end phase. And if it does manage to destroy a monster in battle, it absorbs it as an Xyz material. The triple number 20 Giga Brilliant is a fun tech. It requires 2 level 3s, and once per turn you can attach a material to boost all your monsters by 300 attack. Not really a big deal, but it has helped me get through a couple of powerhouse waves when I needed it to. Now Digital Bug Corbage is where things start getting more interesting. You can Xyz summon it on top of a rank 3 Xyz monster if you wanted to, by detaching 2 materials from it, or you can summon it with 2 or more level 5 lights. Now, if a monster on the field changes its battle position, you do have the ability to gain a material from your graveyard of an insect monster. And you can attach 1 material from it once per turn to send an opponent's defense position monster back to their deck. So, it is non-destructive removal, but it does in fact target, which is the reason that it's not as good as I'd like it to be. However, Digital Bug Rhinoceros makes up for all of that. You can stack it on top of a rank 5 or 6 Xyz monster by detaching 2 materials from it, which means you'll be stacking it on a Corbage, or you can just use 2 or more level 7s, which again can be enabled by the trap card, but Well, okay, I've done it more times than I've done it with the rank 5. Now, it does piercing, and it has the ability to detach a material once per turn during either player's turn and destroy all opponent's monsters with the highest defense. And that is the deck in its entirety. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know how much longer this deck's going to be sticking around. With Link format coming around, and with Link monsters not having a defense stat or being able to go to defense mode, they are pretty much the ultimate answer to this deck's ability to defense manipulate. So I'm going to be putting a lot of thought toward this deck to seeing if it sticks around, but hopefully I won't have to get rid of this deck. I love the digital bugs, I love what they do, and sure, they may not be the highest supported archetype in the world, but they're supported enough to make their deck powerful. And if we ever get Galaxy Worm, I'm pretty sure the deck will start doing extremely well even during Link format. Thanks again for watching the deck profile, I hope you guys liked it, and if you can think of any ways that I can improve this deck any more than I already have, feel free to let me know. But in the meantime, this has been Nanashi, signing out.
What's the next stage? What's the next stage?